So guys, it's your boy, the Ship Creator. Welcome to another video about Higurashi GOU. This is episode 7. And this episode, we get more clarity to the Tomitake and Takano situation from the other arc, from previous arc. There's more stuff about Rika. Okay. And the truth about the Wanagashi Festival. But this arc has been like a perfect adaptation of the Wanagashi arc in the VN. Well, I'm positive because I've seen stuff. I haven't really read through all of Wanagashi. So, I mean, I only read the manga and watched the anime, so that's basically what and I watched some playthroughs of Wanagashi, so my perspective on that is limited. But I'm hearing stuff that it is a damn near perfect adaptation of it. So aside from that, we get to have more Takano, because we didn't have her at all in the last arc. Explaining about the Wanagashi Festival in truth, in the past, about the entrails and the demons who came up from the swamp, and Oyashima-sama who came from heaven to save them. Now, to all my old Higurashi fans, you'll notice that the hand on the statue is not broken. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm loving this I'm loving this, like, okay. For older old Higurashi fans, you'll notice that. For new fans, you won't notice that at all. You won't notice. And when Shion touches the statue, it just splits in half. His face just splits in half. So it was already broken, because, okay, spoiler alert for next arc, it's revealed that it was Satsuko, when she was younger, who broke the statue. So in the original series, that's why there's only like one hand. And so I'm guessing that Satsuko never played in the Nisai Guden, and that's why it's not broken. But in this world, it's not broken at all, but it is for the face. So I'm guessing that is still happened, or something else happened in general. Well, in general. Now, this went over my head while I watched the episode, but when I went on Twitter, after watching the episode, I saw a comment that said, "Hey, when the head fell off and it split in half, there was a hole right there at the neck." And I was like, I noticed that, but I didn't, it didn't come in my head. Well, and between Take saying like, hey, did you steal anything from the shrine? And Take was like, oh no, I didn't. I don't know why I didn't pick up sooner, but she did. Whatever it was, she stole it. We go to Oishi and Keiichi having a talk. This is really early for Oishi to be with Keiichi. I think in this arc, I'm not positive. Do not quote me on that. But he's really hounding Keiichi about, oh yeah, you went into the Saiga and I know you did, you and Shion and Takano and Mitake, and that's kind of like fueling his paranoia again. Because his reaction to the curse stuff from last episode and this episode, he was more afraid. He was more afraid and scared than he was last time in the last arc. When he was like, oh, it's a curse. Okay. And for the ending of this arc, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, basically you're just theorizing. You're just throwing out baseless claims at this point. But I'll get to that later on. We go to the Shion and Keiichi phone call scene, and that goes as it did in the VN. So, prepare invitation because she being scared and worried about, oh yeah, I didn't want to go in there and da 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 da. Well, buddy, that's peer pressure. That's what happens when you open doors. And then we go to other scenes with Keiichi. There's like, I mean, across contrasting this arc with the previous arc, there's no indication at all. The last arc did, at least it was some foreshadowing, an indication that hey, Rena has level. Rena is gonna go crazy, and she's gonna try to hurt Keiichi. That was foreshadowed in episode 2 when she had a hatchet over his head. And you're like, well, that's different from the original series, but okay. And then you had her speech about, oh yeah, I've been trying my best. And you're like, oh, that's from a future arc. And then yet it didn't happen. And you're like, oh well, I called it. In this arc, there is nothing but baseless claims and stuff people have said. But I'll get to that at the end of the video. We go on to Rika. We go to Rika. But before that, the mayor's gone missing. So my theory is kind of losing distraction in case something else happens, which I will theorize in the end of the video. So Miyoshi is missing. Takano and Sumitake are gone. They left Hinamizawa. That's the rules that have been changed for Hinamizawa. But previously, they both died. They both died. And stuff happened after that. And with Rika this episode, I feel bad for her. Like, I feel bad for her, but I'm also pissed at her, kind of. Because we're still in the perspective of Keiichi. Like, hey, we're through his perspective. We're feeling what he's feeling, and we're you know, we're projecting all of our stuff on Keiichi. But with that Rika scene, it kind of made it worse for everyone involved. This episode, it was good. And it cleared up one thing that I was like puzzled about for the previous arc. But we can apply that into this arc as well. We can apply that. We can apply what happened in this arc happened in that arc for one thing, and that was the Takano and Sumitake stole the car and drove off. Even though Oishi didn't really say it in the previous arc, because by then it's already too late with Rena, or they didn't have enough information with Keiichi, or he didn't really tell Keiichi that because he wanted him to, you know, scout out, you know, you're my little snitch boy, you're my little way in this stuff that I can't really get into. So that's why he was told this episode about Takano and Funake leaving town, leaving Hinamizawa. I'll get to that at the end of the video. But all in all, great episode. The finale is unpredictable now. Because with what they said, episode 4 and 5, that this is a Hinamizawa that no one has ever seen before. And I'm beginning to believe that. With the stuff that has to happen, hasn't happened, what's gonna happen? They can't use the Rena stab scene because they used it in the episode 4 of the other arc. Even though it was originally the ending for One Nagashi was, stabbing Keiichi. So, but if you're anime only of Higurashi GOU, please get off this video. This is spoiler alerts for the rest of the review, thoughts, spoiler alert for the entire series. Now, I'm theorizing that, sadly, the killer is Mion, because we have some scenes from Shion from episode 6 that imply that, like, hey, I hate some aspects of Mion. That's your one hint. The other hint is the doll. With Rika's intercession, Keiichi gave Mion the doll, not Rena. And that's the catalyst, for what we know of, that caused the tragedy for Watagashi arc. Now, also from that, piggyback from that I'm guessing, I'm trying to figure out where and how Mion could have got level 5. Was it jealousy? Because of Shion with Keiichi? I mean, what would be the reason for her to get level 5? Where would the reason come from? What cause would it be? Rena's is more like, okay, I get it. Because of her father, she presumably already killed Tepe and Rena in that world before Keiichi moved there. She's already going to level 5 or level 3 in the first place when she moved out of Hinami's to Ikebra, to Ibaraki or whatever, and moved back. She was already having those symptoms. One thing I forgot to mention is that they negated or didn't really mention Rena's background even more about the 3 people she hurt. But I'm guessing that would have been like, oh yeah, she's gonna hurt Keiichi. And we was right. Well, I was right, and I was right, and some other people were right too. That Rena will be the one who would be the killer. But now I'm like, who was the killer this time? Because if it's Mion, it's not a big of a. I mean, it's not that big of a reason for her to go and kidnap the mayor. Go and trap Shion in the basement. Kill her grandma. Like, it's not a bit of a catalyst. I mean, with Shion, it was years of abuse coming. Years of neglect. Like, just her attitude in general, and how she is, of course she was going to probably end up like that with the help of Himizawa syndrome. And with Rika saying like, oh yeah, this world is screwed. Me, you, we're done. You should have watched me dance, Keiichi. I mean, now that if you want to, now it made me think that we're getting a Berta Castro origin story. Even though Yumi Neko already kind of did that for us by explaining it in, I think, episodes 6 or 7. If Erica asked about it. But, like, it wasn't really like a big thing that we needed. Because in my opinion, I don't think we need a Bird Castle origin story at all. Or how she became Bird Castle, even though when she kind of is Bird Castle, even though they're 2 separate people. I mean, who is the killer? Who is the person trying to kill everybody in Himizawa? Did Himizawa disaster didn't happen last arc? It will probably not happen this arc, even though we have not seen the Iria Clinic at all. Using stuff in the manga, Rika didn't steal Satsuko. Satsuko didn't kill Rika. Someone else came in and killed Rika, and presumably also killed Satsuko. So who is the killer? If it's not Takano, if they are running away from somebody else, who's the killer? It has to be someone from Tokyo or Tokyo themselves. And I'm really surprised we haven't seen Irie at all yet. We'll see him in this arc, but like it would have been an opportunity for him to show up by now. But okay. But back to my theory about who's the killer of this arc. It has to be Shion, because of how stuff is landing into place. We'll put it, letting into place to like, hey, the bird's missing. Shion obviously disguised as Mion, went to the thing. He talked after about Satoshi, and she tasted him, put him in the basement. But this is the arc about decepting. So to deceive us, the viewer and Rika, it's put on his head, and maybe it's actually Mion killing people like Shion. And Shion is the one locked up. Or they're both out there killing people. That's also one of my theories. My theory is that it is Mion and it is jealousy, or it is Mion and it is the demon aspect that Mion did. What Shion was talking about in episode 6. Because the devil dropped, wasn't mentioned. There was a few first kind of went with Mion like, oh yeah, let's go Keiichi to the thing, and she was like, yeah, the curse, and she's and you see her reaction, her hand just get tighter on Keiichi's grip, and she just leaves. And then this episode, question Keiichi about, hey, yeah, I should see you about talking to or Tumitake. I mean, you're setting her up in a way that is like, I mean, you're leaving hints, but not even enough hints for us to be like, oh yeah, it's definitely Mion, or it's definitely Shion. I am stumped. I'm gonna believe in my theories that it's Mion with Himizawa syndrome, level 5, jealousy, whatever, or Shion, which is the worst possible which is the worst theory because of this series in general and this arc in general. So it has to be Mion and Shion, or Mion and this demon thing has fully taken control of Mion. And I'm putting quotations because it's not really like, demons aren't real in Higurashi. So I'm just saying like the demon aspect of her character, the one that she uses when she was down there in the trap, in the nail thing with their fingernail, that Mion. But I am stumped. I don't know what else is there. Also, before we forget, chapter 1 of the manga for this arc will be out. So go check it out. It will be out either tonight or tomorrow. It's usually up by like late tonight, so please go read it. Volume 1 or Oni Damashi Hen is also out. I don't know where to actually buy it, but I guess go on Amazon on Japan website and buy it. Also, the features are out. But my final thing is about Rika. How she could have handled the situation because she a lot more better. Because she could have handled it a lot more better than she did. I mean, she did. I mean, she did that with Rena, so I shouldn't have been too surprised. But she actually kind of did it with Shion and Tumi and Akasaka. So we shouldn't be, too, you know, you know, like too like, oh man, whoa, Rika. So we shouldn't be like that because it's expected of her character because she's at her breaking point right now after spending years and years and years fighting fate and then beat fate and have a happy ending and then get dragged back into her teen years. You're gonna be a little mad. You're gonna be pissed off. Now, in every situation that what's the for Akasaka because some points it does help him, but every other point with her friends it doesn't help at all because she's like acting like a whole different person and is feeling their paranoia even more. I'm guessing that's just her like giving up and be like, okay, let me fool you up more and just in this world. I'm done. I'm done trying. I mean, she helped once in this arc with the doll, and then I guess she still saw that he went to the shrine, and she was like, okay, I, I can't help you. I can't help you. So I'm going to creep you out and get your paranoia up, just so you can die in the end, I guess. Which is unpredictable. It's unpredictable because we know now that probably Rika, Satoko, them two probably, hopefully, will not die this arc. If it's not Shion. Because Mion does not have the motive to kill Rika or Satoko. Because Shion did. She was fighting against the Himizawa system itself. So, who's part of that? The Sonizakis, the Kimiyoshis, the Furudes. So, she captured Oreo, she died. Kimiyoshi, he died. Rika came, out knowing like, hey, if I come down here and try to do something to her and I die, she might go and kill Satoko. That's not really a good thing on Rika's side, but it happened anyway. They fought, she died, and then Satoko. And for some reason, they never show what actually happened. With the time that she rode on her bike there to Mion's house, to the time she got locked up. Now, I'm really curious on why they never showed that. I'm probably one of the few people who actually think about it, that, and it's like, I wonder what was said. I wonder what was said. I wonder what happened. How did that entire situation go on? How long did Shion keep the Mion facade on? Would you taser with a stun gun? I'm getting off this tangent right now. Back to my theory about Rika, who could have handled it a lot more better than she did. And I can get that she's depressed and despair because she is. Time travelers have it the worst in anime. Rika has it the worst. Okabe has it the worst. Fucking Subaru has it the worst. Homura has it the worst. Fucking Future Trunks has it the worst. His entire timeline got erased. Just like that. That nigga didn't say nobody. Like, I can get it. And she's tired. And Keiichi's dumbass opening doors left and right, like, oh yeah, let's go in here. Even though it wasn't his fault last arc, and even though he trusted you, he trusted what you said, and he still got stabbed, and presumably he got killed in the end. Well, he died in the end still. And this arc, you're just like, oh yeah, fuck you. And Shion's still alive. He's like, what? What are you talking about? Or they dropping hints like, oh yeah, Shion's the killer. Shion's still alive. Now I'm wondering this episode, will Rika go back to that house and try to fight Shion? And will it happen again with, with Rika and Tetsuko dying by Shion being on hands? I just want to know the cause. What is causing this? Who is the killer in this arc? And if it's so confusing now, I can just tell when next week ends, and it's the week of Thanksgiving, and then that arc begins. You know the arc I'm talking about? The most frustrating arc in the series. And if okay, well now that's gonna end weirdly. That's gonna end weirdly. If it's not happening in last arc or this arc, will it also happen? Will it even happen in the next arc? But I'm done rambling. Great episode of Higurashi episode 7. Go. I haven't watched the dubs yet for episode 2 because it came out the same day. I will probably watch that later on tonight. But yeah, it's been your boy. Thanks for liking and subscribe, guys. Sorry that I keep making my videos like 20 minutes long. But I like to talk about Higurashi with somebody. I know I don't have really much at all friends at all. You talk about Higurashi, and I just stood here for like 28 minutes talking about Higurashi when I could be watching you help the show right now. But I'm gonna get back to that. But it's me, your boy, Dan Superior. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. If you're a Higurashi fan, you look here. Yep. Well, it was working. But it's me, your boy. I stopped the video, Daniel. Stop the fucking video. Your theories. All your theories down below. I want to see them. Bye.